Welcome to Pro Explanation. Today I'm going to explain the romance drama film titled Everyday. This story is very interesting and it is about a spirit which lives in different bodies. It enters one body, controls for a day, and next day tries to find another body. The name of the spirit was A. Then a boy named Justin was shown and he set an alarm for 11:59 a.m. He got so many messages from a girl and that girl liked Justin very much, but Justin avoided her. Then he saw that this girl was messaging him till morning. Then we see she got prepared and going to school with her sister. When she went to school and met with Justin. But the interesting part is it was not only Justin, that spirit was inside him. So Justin was not in his control. When Justin was going for lunch, then that girl came to him and she asked him to for a walk. Justin would ignore it, but the spirit inside him accepted the offer. They went for a drive towards beach after school. That girl felt little strange because the guy who never gave attention to her suddenly went for a drive. The girl was confused, but she was happy. They enjoyed a lot, and in the evening she told him, "My father is a very strange man. He left his job, stay at home, and always draws pictures. That's why my mother has to do 2 jobs together." And then Justin means a named spirit made her realize that human has to take break and this break is important. And then that girl felt ashamed because she was telling these. Then a named spirit comforted her and told, "If you don't tell to me, then whom will you tell?" Then we see them kissing. Justin was behaving like a lover. Then we see that the girl asked him to eat a cookie and it had a message which was, "You have a nice smile." Then we see that Justin dropped her in her house. While she was leaving, he was silent and she asked why he was silent. Then he made her realize that might be he wouldn't be like this. Then the girl said, "Tomorrow will come tomorrow, don't think today." And they kissed again and she left. The spirit also knew that he won't be in his body next day, so that girl would find a different person. Next day we see that the spirit entered in a girl named Amy. And she changed her school to the school where Justin goes. Then Amy met to Justin's girlfriend and told, "I am new and I want to be your friend." Then Rihanna, Justin's girlfriend, agreed because she was girl and there was no problem. Then in science class Rihanna introduced Amy with her friend Rebecca and lab partner Alexander. Interesting fact is Rihanna liked Alexander a little. Meanwhile, Justin was crossing through the classroom and Rihanna called him, and then Justin came and asked Rihanna, "What happened yesterday? I am not able to remember." Then Amy told something to Justin and Rihanna felt little strange. Then we see that Justin memorized Rihanna about the party and left the room. Then Amy, who possessed the spirit, told sorry to her and told she didn't like boys like Justin. Then she waved some hair of Rihanna behind her ear. Rihanna felt strange because Amy was a girl. Why would behave in that way? Next day the spirit entered the body of a boy called Nathan. On the other side we see that Rihanna went to a party with Justin and there Justin left Rihanna at a place and started gossiping with his friends. Then Rihanna played a song which he played when they went for a long drive. Rihanna was really sad and then she saw Nathan who was dancing. So Rihanna joined her in dancing and Justin arrived there and then he asked Nathan, "Who are you?" And then Nathan told, "I am cousin of Steve." After listening this Justin calmed down. Then Justin returned to his friends. Then we see Rihanna and Nathan sat in balcony of the garden house and started to share their talk. On the other hand, Justin got to know from Steve that he didn't have any cousin named Nathan. Actually, there was no connection between Nathan and them from school or anything. He came because he possessed the spirit who wanted to be with Rihanna. When they were sitting, Nathan's alarm rang and so he left the place very fast. When Justin tried to catch him, then he drove away with a car. Then next day at school Rihanna saw that Justin was talking about a news video with his friends. In that video Nathan was shown and he was claiming that he was possessed by a demon. It was the first clue to them about the demon. Then we see it entered a body who was blind, so that spirit was not able to do anything as it loved Rihanna a lot and it was not able to meet her. So next day, a message came to Rihanna's phone from an unknown number where it was written, "You have to come in library or bookstore once." Rihanna didn't understood who messaged her. Then her friend insisted that she should check it out. So Rihanna went to a bookstore and she met a girl named Megan and it was inside her. Then through Megan that spirit told all the truth, that is first he entered Justin's body, then in Amy's body, then Nathan, now in Megan. He told her that he was a traveling spirit and every day he changed the body and they were of same age and he couldn't enter a body second time and his journey would not finish. But Rihanna thought it was a joke and she left the store immediately. Then we see that through Megan the spirit started saying the incidents happened between Justin and Rihanna which was not possible to be known to others. Still she didn't took it seriously. She thought it might be a prank. Next day we see that Rihanna was very sad and she was waiting at school and then Justin came and when she asked about her father to him, then Justin said, "Which story you're talking about?" "I don't know." Then the spirit sent a message in her phone and requested her to meet again. As that spirit had no car so asked for to meet in dinner. This spirit was inside the body of James. To clear out her doubts, she asked many questions to that spirit, and he replied those all. From the Instagram account he showed some pictures of Rihanna. In which body he entered he clicked photos with it and he posted it. But after even all these, Rihanna didn't believe him and she left the place and went home and started thinking. Next day we see Rihanna went to Nathan, and she asked about that day when they met, but he was unable to tell anything, like they danced together and all. Next day when Rihanna was walking with her friend and Justin, she saw a transgender called Vic and she was coming towards her. Rihanna realized she possessed that spirit. Then Rihanna went to her and told, "Why are you doing this?" Then the spirit replied, "When I met you first time, I felt something different which never happened with me," and he asked for a chance and she agreed. In that day Rihanna went to Justin's house for study and she asked, "Do you remember anything about that day?" He told about some other day because he didn't able to remember about that day she was asking about. Whole day we see her reading messages of that spirit. We see after school she went to a library and she started talking with that spirit, and that spirit told her that from his childhood he was in this condition and only in 6 years of age he realized the thing, and in such long time he didn't get anyone for himself, because he stayed everybody for a temporary moment. Then we see them kissing, and then we see that mother of the guy with whom the spirit was came there and Rihanna ran from there. Next day we see strangely the spirit came in Rihanna's body and the spirit was very happy for that. When she was in front of that locker then Justin came and the spirit became so happy. Then we see that Justin felt very bad of the words Justin was talking, so she protested all that, gave her explanation and left. Justin felt strange. Then after school he spent some time with her father and she asked, "Why do you paint?" Then her father replied that when he started his job he stopped painting and now he wanted to give preference to his hobby, and he also gave a chance to Rihanna to do painting. Still the spirit was inside her and he wrote a letter for Rihanna that he tried to have all the memories for her, and she slept after writing. So next day she returned to her body and strangely she remembered everything about yesterday. Then she went to Justin and did break up, and Justin was shocked and he left the place. On the other hand we see that the spirit was inside a guy named Xavier. Then we see Rihanna and that spirit were spending time together. Then she asked the spirit, "Can't you stay in a body more that midnight?" Then he replied, "When it's midnight." Then the body owner spirit pushed the spirit of me. Then Rihanna said, "When that spirit is pushing you, can't you push back? Isn't there any possibilities?" Then the spirit replied, "It is not my body, so I never tried that." Then it was night and then spirit took Xavier to his home, but Rihanna was waiting for him. But that didn't came back. Then Rihanna felt herself very lonely and called her mother for help. Then when she returned home she started texting to that number previously that spirit was texting from, but no reply came. And on the other hand we see that the spirit entered such body which was going out of the country. Then he started running and called her to take him from there. Then we see that he jumped from the balcony and ran from the house. Then Rihanna took him inside her house and asked him where he was for few months. Then he told, "In the body I entered there was lungs transplant was going on and I was with doctor, so I was not able to contact." Then we see that they both were intimated and had some private moments together. Then next day we see that the spirit came inside the body of Alexander and they went for a date, and there they blew balloons and had fun. Then at night Rihanna tried to convince him to stay inside Alexander for one more day. But spirit didn't agree because he thought that the body was only of Alexander and he didn't had right to do so, but he agreed for this time. Then we see that the spirit was staying for many days inside Alexander's body and he didn't sleep at midnight because if he slept then he would be transferred to another body. One day they went for to watch movie, and meanwhile Alexander's mother called her for many times, but that spirit didn't pick her call. Then we see that Alexander took her in his house, and to celebrate his birthday his family prepared a dinner and they were waiting for him. Watching this Rihanna left the place. Alexander's mother scolded him very much and the spirit felt very guilty. Anyway we see next day that spirit went to Rihanna's house and tried to convince her that he couldn't stay in that body anymore because he had no right to be, and he also told that end the relationship because many people were getting hurt. He also said, "If we keep the relationship, after 10 years what will you do? If I go after 10 years, whom will you marry? You can't hide me and love forever." Then he convinced her to have a relationship with Alexander and he said, "He is perfect for you." Rihanna agreed. Anyway the spirit had only 3 hours and they decided to spend it together. Then we see that they were very intimated and spending times. Next day she returned her home. Next day the spirit went to a different body and he went to new work. On the other hand Rihanna started to spend time with Alexander. And the movie ends here. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel. Stay well, stay healthy. See you in the next video.